Hi, everyone. This is Chanel of Hustling Hotties and the host of the Big Dreamer series. I am here with Vanessa Canterberry of Inspired by Vanessa. Hi, Vanessa. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Thank you for being here with us. Vanessa, what do you do? Tell me about your business.
Oh my goodness. I do so much that scares me sometimes. I am a speaker. I'm an author. I'm a book consultant. I'm a mindset coach, and I have a podcast. So overall, under Inspired by Vanessa, I empower people to move their souls. Meaning, when I'm speaking to you, coaching, on a podcast, if you read one of my books, is going to power your soul to move. Because too often we stay stuck in a place we know we no longer need to be. But sometimes we need something that's going to make that shift in some type of way, shape, form, or fashion to be able to move us to the next level.
Wow, that's great. That's absolutely phenomenal. So, Vanessa, my first question that pops in my head, and this is just random, is how do you get all those things done every day?
The crazy thing about it is that I started out with one thing. Let's just start with one, right?
Mhm.
And the first thing that I start out with, now that I'm helping more people to be able to do their books and turn their books into businesses, I have a schedule. Like, who do I need, who's on my schedule that I have to work with, make sure that I allow that much time to them so I can be able to get that job done. So then I turn around and I make sure that if I'm, my part is done so I can be able to make my team ready to do whatever they need to do with the books, right? Then now that I'm coaching someone, it could be a coaching session, depending on how long we've been together. Sometimes you start to get that feel more and more about a person, like, okay, wait a minute, hold on, this is going to be a little bit more long coaching time. So you just got to make sure you schedule and then overschedule, but you don't have to let your client know, but overschedule so you can allow enough time just in case it goes over. And so that's what I do throughout the day. I'm making sure that my calendar is filled, but it's not to the point where it's going to drain me out.
Got you. So, scheduling and making sure that you're not overwhelmed.
Yes, because I did that before. I was doing it all. And then I realized, I was like, hold on, my business is growing. I need to get a team. What's the busiest part of the business, right? What can you do? But then what can you delegate to somebody else to do, right? And so I had to learn how to do that. So I don't keep on getting burnt out, taking on all of these things with the clients that keep coming to me. It's just not fair. So if I'm not good, then my client's not that I have to be able to do for me.
Gotcha. So I remember when you first started your business, and now it's blown up. What strategies did you use to make this business? It's been like, what, 3 years? What did you do?
It's 5 years now. Yeah.
Time is flying.
I know, it's crazy, right? So what did I do? Can you hear me?
Oh, you went out for a second.
There you go. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can you now.
Okay, perfect. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
I took time out to really, really be honest with myself, right? Be very honest with myself, because we can self-sabotage ourselves. Remind you, I've come from working in corporate America for 20 years, right? So working in corporate America for 20 years, you are told what to do. You know what you have to do, what time you got to be there, how much money you're going to make, right? But now that I'm in business for myself, I had no clue, absolutely not a clue. But I was willing to be able to learn. I was willing to be able to change my thought patterns and my habits, because we are a creature of habits. So my old habits, again, control. I want to be able to take the one to control those things that I can't control. And so I turned around, and when I started my business, I started out with just being open with myself. You just have to really be open, and you have to be honest with yourself. You may not know how to do it all, or you may not know where to start, but you have to start, right? So I was willing to start. I was willing to take what I've learned in corporate America all those years and take the good and implement those things into my business. You know what I mean? And so, so that's very important. Sometimes we work on our jobs and we turn around and you get miserable on that job or whatever. But on that job, you need to study that job to find out why they're so successful.
Yeah.
And you need to implement some of those things into your business. And that's something that I've done. I implemented those things into my business so I can be able to say, okay, that worked. So now let me go ahead and now have a system in place. You have to have a system in place. You don't have a system in place, you're in trouble. You are in big time trouble. And I had to learn that to get the system so I can be able to do and be effective. That's the thing. I had to be effective because I was all over the place. So slow down, be honest with yourself to know what you can do, what you cannot do, what you can delegate, what systems that you need to put in place to be able to make your business more efficient.
I love that. That's perfect. Because so many times we think that we're doing something and we could be doing it so much easier, so much better if we just sat and got organized for just a quick second. And that's online, that's by paper, or whatever works for us.
Yes.
So, no, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Tell me what you're about to say.
One of the things that I tell people all the time, get you some SOPs.
And please explain what SOPs are, because nobody knows what those are when I say that. So please explain.
A standard operation procedure. Get you some. You have, when you start a business, just think about it. If you work in a job, you're the receptionist, you're in the marketing department, you're the advertising department, you're the IT, you HR, you're the CEO, you all of these different hats, right? But now in order for you to be able to delegate those things, you have to learn those positions. But now that when you're trying to train someone else, you have to have a standard operation procedure in place so they know what to follow, because you have a business, not a hobby. Is a big thing, right? It's a big difference. You are running a business. And of course, you want to be making adjustments along the way. But now that you have all these hats in place, you know what to do. The next person coming behind you will not know what to do. But they can be able to turn to that standard SOPs, and they can be able to say, oh, I know what to do. I know the first step. And I know the second step. I know the third step. Oh, we probably gonna need to tweak this later on down the line. But at least they have somewhere where they could be able to start. So they can be able to have a system in place to follow. What if you're out of town? What if you're in meetings? Do you want them to be calling you for every little thing when they can turn to an SOP?
Yep, you're right. And it's the difference between working in your business and working on your business. Mm-hmm. That's the big difference, is the SOPs, and so many people forget to realize that.
Big time.
Vanessa, what is one big outrageous goal that you set that you've accomplished in the past 5 years?
This is crazy. One of the goals that I said I wanted to do, it was just one. I just said, I want to do one, just one. And I was write my book. That's what I said I wanted to do. I'm going to write one book. I'm going to do it. I'm going to write this one book. Yeah, it turned to many books now. So within 2 years, I started my business 5 years ago. So you're going to be, trial and error. But within 2 years, I have 5 books now. Crazy. Yeah. And so I have accomplished those things. And then I also have done anthologies. I just completed an anthology in April, and now I'm working on the next anthology. I said I didn't want to do anthologies like that, but yeah.
I think you got addicted to this life.
You know what? The crazy part about it is that my thing is that a lot of people come to me about their pain points, right? Their pain points in their life. But then at the same time, how can they be able to make the adjustment over into their business? If you're not willing to attack the things that that's hurting you in your business, those things that you are not willing to face in life will affect your business. So I'm always getting in people like faces, I will say, get in their face so they can be able to face those things that they keep running from in their life, right? And so I write about those things because that was me too. And sometimes we don't talk about those things, but I tell people all the time, your story is somebody else's survival kit.
Yeah.
right? So if you have to be able to share that story, if you want to be able to leave an impact on somebody's life, if you want to keep it to yourself, well, how would anybody know how they too can overcome? If you're not willing to share your story, because what you experienced, I may not experience, but somebody else experienced it. And so here I have these books out, and now I'm working on my course that's coming out this month on helping more people with their books and turning their books into businesses. I keep telling people you can write a book, but you need to do more with that book. And so now it's helping more people to be able to, they will be able to, I'm excited about this. I always want to help people to be able to generate additional income. And now I'm working on something to be able to help them to be able to generate that additional income, because I know how it was. I started my business when I was unemployed. Remember that conversation? Lord Jesus. And so, you know, coming from unemployed, investing in yourself with your unemployment check, to look now 5 years later, I would have never imagined. Never.
And that lets us know that anything is possible.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because unemployment's what, like $300 a week? And
it's more than that, but still.
Okay. Oh, it's $300 in Atlanta, so Chicago maybe a little bit more.
Well,
max
but
is like
still not enough. You know, it's still not enough.
It's not. Nobody can live off of that. I'm not saying that at all. But for you to invest it when you don't know if you can feed your kids, you don't know how you're going to pay rent or mortgage. So that's a big leap of faith that you took. And a lot of people, I think, are scared to just take that leap of faith and look at the results of your jump.
Absolutely. And at the time when I had invested in myself, I made all these excuses, just like a lot of people. I do it this time, I do it next time. Oh, that's not for me. Why do I have to invest? Because we're not taught like that. We're not taught to invest in ourselves. We're taught to go to school, work, and get a job. That's what we are taught to do. But when I said it earlier, that we have to be able to shift the way we think. You know, I'm really big on that mindset. If you're willing to be able to shift the way you think, you could be able to make a huge turnaround in your life. And so now the conversations, even with my children, they have totally changed. Each and every last one of my children will have businesses. I already have one child that already have a business. She's 24. She started her business last year, and her business is doing absolutely amazing. Then we're going to take it and do something else. Everybody have to have a business. Everybody, period. Because these jobs, yeah, okay. But at the end of the day, have something on the side. There's nothing wrong with having a job. But have something on the side for those emergency situations, because you never know. It's interesting how many people reach out to me and say, Dang, I lost my job. And now they're scrambling. Why? When your job could have been your investor. So I had to learn backwards and invest in myself with my unemployment check. And at that time, I had a child going on. She was a senior in high school, going off to college. I had one going to be a senior in high school. Then I had a son who was a freshman in high school. And all this taking place, I had to do something. 2 years in and still couldn't find a job. I had to do something, and I did. And that was scary at the same time. I've learned a lot about people who so-called your friends. Now you are in, as I call it, you are in a liability. Let's call it what it is. You are a liability for them because now you don't have the money to be able to fund whatever. So, but you was an asset a long time ago, but now you're a liability. So, of course, things have changed. There's a shift right there. And you have to be able to be open again. And you got to be honest that this is what happens. This is exactly what happens. And so now I have to be able to say, you know what? I understand that deadbolt was put on that door for a reason. I didn't get it then, but I get it now. I understand that those people who was in my circle, small or not, they couldn't go on this journey with me. But look where I'm at now. And now they're calling and trying to blow my phone and act like as if nothing happened. But you're going to learn these things along the way. It's just being, you know, going in a direction that they told you that you can't do, or they want to talk you out of it. But that's what happens. You have to change your mindset. You have to change your thinking in order for you to be able to become the best version of you.
Yeah, you're 100% correct. I love that. I truly do. My next question was actually that. What one nugget of advice would you like to give a future entrepreneur or one that's just getting started and they're just not at that level that you are?
Trust the process. Trust the process. Stop thinking that it's going to happen overnight. Just because somebody that's in your industry, it has great success and they say it happened in 30 days. Trust your process. because majority, they don't want to tell the backstory. They don't want to tell the times when, they was barely able to pay their bills. They didn't know if the light was going to be on when they came home. They didn't know if the car was going to be repossessed. They didn't know if they was going to be out on the streets. I can tell my backstory because I've darn near lost everything in that process. But look, I'm here now. You know what I mean? Trust that process. It's not going to be anything worth fighting for. You have to fight every day. You got to get up swinging like you never swung before. You have to knock that ball out the park every day. You have to wake up, eat no's every day, because all it's going to take is one yes. That one yes will take you to your next level, but you got to get ready. So you have to trust that process.
Yeah, you're 100% correct. I love it. Yes. So what is your must-read book, Vanessa? A book that you read that was life-changing for you. What would that be?
You know what? My brother gave me this book years ago, and I said, "What is wrong with you? I don't know what this book's about." And it was Robert Kiyosaki's book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Mm-hmm. And I said, "Whoa, wait a minute, hold on, let me read this book." And it's crazy because I read that book, started my journey as being an entrepreneur. But he gave it to me way before that. And so I was like, this is interesting. And it was crazy because you're thinking that, not trying to be funny, he's not African American.
No.
And they go through the same thing that we go through, but at the end of the day, the rich dad was really his friend's dad. The poor dad was his dad. And it was like, wait a minute, hold on. See, time is something that you cannot get back, right? Time is what his friend's dad had for him. Time, it was when he was able to be there when his son needed him the most. But at the same time, he knew his father went out there to be able to create a lifestyle that he knew that his family deserved. When you work in a job, yes, you can be able to do some amazing things, but how long would that last? Now they say you got to retire at 72. They send me papers, I got to retire at 72. Who? Wait, if I go back on corporate America, I will have to work until the age of 72.
72 for what now? What did they change?
To retire. Yeah, retirement. Like Social Security. If I go back,
change. I thought it was 65.
No, girl, it changed a long time ago. It's 72. So if I go back into corporate America, it'll be 72 is when I retire. And I believe it was maybe $1,500 that I will be able to make a month. But then people don't read the small print. So I'm reading this and I'm like, this is really interesting. So if you read the small print said that I will only get that money until I am 82 years old.
What?
Yeah. So that means if you don't have enough money saved up or what have you, have something on the side, that money that you worked all these years for in corporate America, it will end when you're 82. So they have an expectancy on when you should be able to live. An expectancy. So like, if you go, okay, fine, because your money was gone anyway. So again, it takes me back to Rich Dad, Poor Dad. You have to create the lifestyle for you, for your legacy to stand off of, so they can be able to eat off of, so they can be able to learn and grow off of, so they can be able to go back and water seeds that you have planted for them. That job you cannot transfer to your children. The education you cannot transfer to your children. You need to be able to transfer something to your children that they can continue to pass on time and time and time again. So that book I will recommend to any and everybody to read that book, because it really opened up my eyes. Because again, the mindset. I didn't read it when I had a job. I started reading the book when I started my business. So again, who wants to work until they're age 72? Not I.
My bones are already hurting, okay?
Exactly.
72 sounds just mind-blowing.
Yes, 72. And you see how much, I was like, this got to be a joke. I was looking and I was reading. I remember posting it up one time. And I talked about it on Facebook. And I said, this can't be real. But this goes to tell you that are you going to continue to be controlled, or are you going to control the situation? You do have a choice.
Write a newsletter after this, and I think that's going to be, you just gave me the topic of my newsletter, because mind blown.
Mm-hmm. It blew me away. And I said, we have to be able to change the true, I'm a mindset coach, right? We have to change it. We have to, because if we don't, we cannot blame the person. Look who we got in the White House. Let's call it what it is. We can't blame that person. We can't, you know what I mean? There's some people take their power to the extreme, and that's exactly what he's doing. But you got to take back your power. People are coming to this country, the United States, to be able to have a better opportunity. You have the opportunity in the United States. You have the opportunity with all the social media. Look how you and I connected. You know what I mean? To be able to connect and grow your business and build those relationships. You have the leg up that somebody else didn't have back then, or when they was out there trying to make a difference. We have that opportunity. So it's enough out here for all of us, but you got to be willing to work. You got to be willing to invest in yourself. You got to be willing to be able to stretch yourself beyond your imagination. I was setting out my goals for the next 2 years. And when I was setting out my goals for the next 2 years, I said, this is going to happen, period. This is going to happen in 2 years. That's my goals.
Well, what was one, that's one of my questions. What is one outrageous goal that you have coming up, Vanessa? Because with all the things you do, we'd love to hear it.
You know, one of my biggest goals is to be on the Essence stage at the Empowerment Conference. I want to be not only on that stage, I want to be able to be in that magazine. Do you understand what I'm saying? I want to be in that magazine. I want people to understand that my story is no different than your story, but we all have a story, right? I want to show people that it is so possible. When I tell people that the backstory that people don't want to talk about, they are like blown away. Like, no, you did not go through that. Yes, I went through a whole lot to get where I'm at right now. And so I look back, and my testimony is part of my test. It was a part of the test. I had to trust that process. So in 2 years, I will be on that stage because I'm going to claim it. I spoke it into existence. It's already mine, right? I will be in that magazine in 2 years. In 2 years, I'm going to make that happen because I know the abundance. You have a calling of your life to live a life of abundance. Why not go big? Go big or go home. I'm not going to go small anymore. I started out small, tweaking like, okay, I might not. Can I do it? Can I? No, I'm not there anymore. 5 years in, it's going to be big. It's going to be bigger than what I ever expected. My business now, I never thought it would be this big. I never thought I would be doing all the things that I'm doing. But if you keep going, if you keep trusting the process, if you keep stretching yourself, if you keep understanding that there is more for you, if you keep just stop and relinquish all the control, if you continue to just go along and I don't know what's on the other side, but I'm willing to get to that other side. If you just keep doing that, you could get somewhere. And then when you look back, you can say, dang, I came a mighty long way. Now that is part of the journey. It's not going to be straight. It's going to be crooked as heck because you're going to learn a lot of things, the ups and the downs and the twists and the turns about people, business, and yourself along the way. But it's a beautiful thing because I don't have to miss those opportunities with my grandchildren when they call, want me to come pick them up from school. And when I was with them for a couple of days ago, and I just stopped what I was doing, just spend time just with them. I miss those times with my kids. I had to go take them to school and take them to daycare, and then I had to turn around, schedule time if I had to go to their school for report card pickup or their activities. I had to schedule time. I don't want to have to schedule time with my grandkids. I don't want to miss that anymore because you get them for a short amount of time, and before you know it, that's it. I have young adults now. That's crazy to me. I have young adults, and I look back and I was like, I'm glad that I was a hands-on mom, but at the same time, I can't get those times back. Right? So when there's more grandkids, no time soon, thank you, Jesus, that I will be able to have that time with them. You know what I mean? That's important to me, to have that time with them unapologetically. We got to break down these barriers one at a time. Are you willing to break down those barriers? Are you willing to be able to be so bold and unapologetic about, I'm going after everything that God said that I could be able to have? If so, trust your process, and it will give you the rewards and the riches of your life that you will never expect.
Beautiful. Absolutely perfect, Vanessa. One more question before I let you go. What is one quote, your favorite quote? What is your favorite quote, Vanessa?
Oh my God, it's on my website. I can't remember the name of the quote because it when I think about it, it just really makes me think like, you've come a long way, Vanessa. You really come a long way. You have changed a lot of things that people said that you wasn't going to be able to do. You turned around and did things that people said, she's not doing that. She's just not going to do that. And why she's not going to do that? Because they said it. So when I think about it, I turn around and I say all the time, you did it. You absolutely did it. You did it, not because somebody else told you to do it. You did it for you. So you want to create a legacy beyond your imaginations, right? So if you want to create that legacy beyond your imaginations, you got to get to work. You got to get to work. And you have to do something that you said you're going to be able to do, not what somebody else said that you're going to be able to do. So if I would think about my favorite quote, what is his name? Is it Bagandi? Oh my goodness, I can't think of the name. I think it's Bagandi. Something with Bagandi. Yeah, you got me. But I cannot think of it that quick. But it's something with Bagandi. Oh my goodness. And it's going to come to me right after this interview.
That's how it always works. I call it the either the brain or the entrepreneur brain. One of the two.
Yes. I don't, man, it's so many things that go in your head when you're an entrepreneur when you don't sleep. I don't even know what sleep look like. I be trying to tell people, well, what is that? Help me to help you to understand what's sleep. When you find it, let me know, okay?
The other day, I don't sleep, I rest. And
yes, I just take a quick old nap and I come back and I'm like, oh, dang, I'm okay. I wish I could remember the name of it. I kid you not, I can't remember the name.
Oh, but don't even worry about it. I like to share quotes, so I thought I'd ask. But Vanessa, how can everyone participate in your movement? How can we get in contact with you? If we want to follow you, what can we do?
Well, you can follow me on social media. I'm Inspired by Vanessa. On Instagram, I'm on Inspired by Vanessa on Facebook. Inspired Vanessa on Twitter because of the characters, but you still find me Inspired by Vanessa. And on my website, inspiredbyvanessa.com is where you could be able to find me as well.
Perfect. And Vanessa has given a free gift. It is going to be at the bottom of the page. If you just scroll down, you'll be able to click the link and get her free gift that she has given to you. Vanessa, is there anything else before we close this little interview that you would like to share with our viewers?
You know, the one thing that I tell people to do, there's power in collaboration. Don't be afraid to collaborate with someone else. Just don't. Support one another. Even if that person is not in your industry, but just support them. Support goes a long way. We, as small business owners, we really make up the economy. So why not support one another? Why not collaborate? Why not when there's enough for all of us to eat? So support one another. And now that's badass.
That's true. Thank you so much, Vanessa, and I hope you have a wonderful day.
Thank you.